If you say water has memory, I want to tell you that's not what science says.
Elaga?
Experiments done in many countries around the world have shown that water receives and makes an imprint of any outside influence, remembering everything that occurs in the space that surrounds it. Water has memory. As it records information, water acquires new properties, yet its chemical composition remains unchanged. The structure of water means how its molecules are organized. We can see how water molecules join together into groups. These are called clusters. Scientists came up with the idea that these clusters work as memory cells of a certain sort, in which water records the whole history of its relationship with the world, as if on magnetic tape.
Without changing the chemical composition of the water, you can rearrange the molecular arrangement in such a way that the water will behave completely in a different way than the way it does. To such an extent, it's sensitive to this extent that if I take a glass of water in my hand and just look at it in a certain way and give it to you, well-being will come to you. If I look at it another way and give it to you, you will fall sick tonight. This is no more superstition, this is science.
When you turn on the light, the water is changing. When you turn on the electric field from the power lines, the water may change. So that is the direction of research.
If I look at this glass of water in a certain way, then he will give it powers of malice or beneficence and cheppadu. Adi science andama? That is voodoo. That is black magic. That is what he is promoting.
The structure of water is much more important than the chemical composition.
I want to say your master's or your engineering degree should be withdrawn when you say this.
Just sell us!
The water, of course, remains water, but its structure, like a nervous system, reacts to any irritation.
If water is cleaned off impurities, all water is same. This would have been the argument 10 years ago, but not anymore. Modern science is clearly saying that depending upon what the water has been in touch with, accordingly it behaves differently. This is an established fact now, because water has memory. Now, when we say Ganga Jal, why it's been important is, it is flowing through certain lands, it is flowing through certain terrain, which has a certain impact. And it is not for 1 or 2 generations, for hundreds of generations. People have been doing spiritual sadhana and they've been in touch with this water. The quality of that is there in the water. Sundarlal Bahuguna went about proving this to people. Nothing much happened, unfortunately. But his own health got transformed tremendously just living on the Ganga bank.
Modern instruments have made it possible to record the fact that within each of water's memory cells, there are 440,000 information panels, each of which is responsible for its own type of interaction with the environment. Water has memory.
So what do you feel when you look at the gurus who explain? Sadhguru Tiskondi, Sri Ravi Shankar Tiskondi, and Sadhguru, I think he talks a lot about ఇవన్నీ మన పూజలన్నీ. మీరు ఆశ్రమానికి ఎప్పుడైనా అంటే చూసారా? ఆశ్రమంలో జరిగే
ఆశ్రమానికి వెళ్ళలేదు,
రిచువల్స్ అవి చూసారా?
ఆయన కబ్జా చేసిన ల్యాండ్ లో పెట్టిన శివలింగాన్ని కూడా నేను చూడలేదు.
ఎలాగెలాగా?
ఓ, అది కబ్జా ల్యాండ్ అండి?
ఎస్, ట్రైబల్ ల్యాండ్.
సో వాట్ కుడ్ ఇట్ బి ఫర్ హిమ్ టు డూ దిస్?
హ్యావ్ యూ సీన్, నోటిస్డ్ ది ఎంపైర్ దట్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ బిల్ట్? ది ఎంపైర్ ఇస్ బిల్ట్ largely on enticements to people to provide them some solace in their search for the truth.
There's nothing spiritual about giving solace to people. It is just a psychological comfort, which your family can offer, which your dog can offer. Dog is good solace for you, isn't it? You have pets at home? They can be a great source of solace for you, isn't it so? You don't need a god for solace. You seek the beyond, not for solace, but for liberation, to become free from everything that you are right now. So if you are seeking a guru for solace, there are many. If you are seeking a guru for liberation, then If you sit with him, you feel threatened, you want to run away from him. But at the same time, you don't want to leave him for a moment. If you constantly feel threatened by him, at the same time you want to be with him, that means he's a good guru for you. If you're very comfortable with him, he's a no good guru for you.
ఇంత వైడ్ యాక్సెప్టెన్స్ వచ్చేటప్పటికీ రెచ్చిపోయి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు వీళ్ళు. అది శ్రీ రవిశంకర్ కావచ్చు.
హలో బ్రదర్, ఓకే, నువ్వేం మాట్లాడుతున్నావు అర్థమవుతుందా నీకు?
When you say don't sleep with your head to the north, because that is how the elephant lost its head in favor of Ganesha. I want to just remind you that I am not an elephant, so I can sleep with my head to the north.
ఇక్కడ ఎదవా నువ్వా నేనా ఎదవని నాకు అర్థం కావట్లేదు.
Suppose you had a little bit of anemia. If you went to your doctor, what does he prescribe for you? So it seems to be like it's an important ingredient of your blood, yes? So if iron is floating around in your blood, and if I put a very powerful magnet to the top of your head, it is possible that slowly blood may start moving in that direction, isn't it? Let's say if it's a very, very powerful magnet, it may start slowly pulling it up because there is elements of iron in the blood. You know, there's a north pole and a south pole, these are the magnetic centers. And you also know the whole land masses, whole continents have been slowly being pulled towards the north, they've been traveling. You know this? The magnetic pull of the North Pole is slowly pulling all the land masses upward. The circulatory system in your brain is such that if one extra drop enters there, hemorrhages will happen. People have strokes. So now you were like this, now you went like this. Already there is a little bit of imbalance in the system because heart was pumping, calculating the gravitational resistance. Now suddenly there's no gravitational resistance, you became like this, and now you put your head towards the north. Slowly, it gets pulled towards your brain. So one thing that could happen to you is you could have disturbed sleep. If you put your head to the north and sleep, you could have disturbed sleep, all kinds of dreams happening. If you are in your old age, it is possible that you can have a stroke or you could just die in your sleep. It's very much possible. Not that if you sleep one day you will fall dead. Every day, if your bed is arranged that way, that every day you are sleeping, put your head to the north, you are asking for trouble.
So I can sleep with my head to the north.
Some kind of trouble, we do not know what kind of trouble you will get, that depends on the strength of your system. If it is weak, very weak, you may fall dead, or you may get a stroke, or you may just get disturbed sleep, you may just have nightmares, or during the day you act funny.
సద్గురు అనే ఆయన తను ఒక లైఫ్ స్టైల్ని ప్రమోట్ చేస్తూ తను ఒక పారాషూట్ బాబా అని చెప్పుకుంటూ తర్వాత చాలా బ్యూటిఫుల్ ఇంగ్లీష్లో మాట్లాడుతూ ఎన్ని రకాల సైంటిఫిక్ అన్ట్రూత్స్ని ఆయన స్ప్రెడ్ చేస్తున్నాడు అన్నది వీ హ్యావ్ బీన్ సీయింగ్.
నీ వాదటి బామర్ది.
So many things will happen because excess circulation is happening in the brain when it should not be happening, simply because you put your head to the north. So in case you go to South America, then you should not put your head to the south. If you went to Australia, you should not put your head to the south. You can put it to the north, out there. In the northern hemisphere, you do not put your head to the north.
What if you live on the equator? If you live on the equator?
You can spin like a needle.
Is there an optimal direction for your head to be facing?
East is best. Northeast is okay. West is all right. South, if you must. North, no.
The stars are accessible to all of us. We have to reach out to them.